What's up, chads, and welcome to today's video. So if any of you guys out there invested in Tomb Finance or any Tomb forks that have come since, and you guys are probably going to like today's video. Today we're going to make a video on Ronin Finance. Now these guys are actually not a Tomb fork, they're more like a fork of Fantasm, which was a project on the Fantasm blockchain, which is still very similar to a Tomb fork, except for they have what's called a synthetic token. That's a part of the ecosystem, which is then able to generate higher yield and higher interest on the farms and staking protocols. So basically what these projects are, they are yield farming and staking protocols which generate really high yield, and so people make their ROI off the yield farming and that kind of stuff. They are very high risk because once things start going south, they tend to die very quickly. But still, over the last year, people have made a lot of money off these kind of projects, and especially these Fantasm forks, because there hasn't been so many since Fantasm's success. That I have been part of and invested in a couple of different forks and did make some money, but these kind of protocols are still relatively new. So today we're going to talk about Ronin Finance. So this one's a little bit different because instead of so when I was talking about these synthetic tokens that are created and made part of the ecosystem. Now usually what happens, like Fantasm for example, launched on the Fantasm blockchain, so therefore they created a synthetic version of Phantom. Now what Ronin Finance are doing differently is they're making a synthetic version of a stablecoin, which is something I've personally never seen before. Like I said, I have seen a few of these forks now of these projects, but they all tend to create a synthetic version of the native token of whichever blockchain that they're launching on, whether that be Phantom or Avalanche or whatever. So these guys, it says there, they're going to be creating a pegged synthetic BUSD token. So what this basically is, it's a synthetic version of BUSD, which is pegged to BUSD, and BUSD in turn is pegged to the US dollar, and that's kind of how it works. And because of this, the projects are able to, especially the farms and the staking protocols, are able to generate like crazy amounts of APR. Now it does this because of all the fees and the minting fees and the transaction fees and stuff like this is what helps to kind of keep the protocol stable. But yeah, these protocols are a very difficult thing to do. They're very difficult, to keep stable. They're very difficult to, all the contract side of things and the UI and that kind of stuff. Very difficult to make work, but when they do work, as Fantasm proves, people can make a lot of money. So we'll go over in a little bit more detail about this project. As well, it says what are synthetic tokens? They are synthetic tokens are algorithmic stablecoin, which you can gain exposure to a certain asset without holding it. So this one is going to be a pegged BUSD, so they're going to call the Ronin token, and it's going to be pegged to BUSD. So it's like holding BUSD when you're not actually holding BUSD. And let's go. So Cyber. So Cyber, I think, that's their native token to the ecosystem. Now this is the one that you're going to be able to, because there's going to be farms available. Actually, they haven't released the website as of yet, so I've got no kind of platform, no UI that I can show you. Like this is the farms, these are going to be the pairs, this is the staking, the lock-in, this kind of stuff. I've only got this white paper to go off, and they've also got a Medium article as well, which isn't very in depth. But this project's still very early on. They've only got a few hundred members in the Telegram. Only got like 100 Twitter followers. The audit still isn't done. There's no KYC done, that kind of stuff. So still very early on. I wanted to bring this project over to you guys now because they are still in the whitelisting stage. So if you head over onto the Telegram group, then you can find yourself a way to get a whitelist spot. And so moving on. So this talks about token utility, there we go. This is what I was talking about. Each minting and redeeming incurs a protocol fee, and it's these protocol fees that help keep the protocol stable, basically. So we'll move on. Talks about the allocations, and here a little bit about the farming. So what they say here, if you are farming the Cyber reward, so whether you're farming Cyber and Ronin or Cyber and BUSD, I'm not really sure what the pairs are going to be. What they're saying here is that all the rewards that you get, there is a 10-week vesting period. Now what this forces people to do, it forces them to wait 10 weeks before claiming the cyber rewards and then selling them, which is, you know, something that's going to help keep the price of cyber more stable. Now it's saying that you can actually claim these cyber rewards from the farm, you know, before 10 weeks, but there will be a 50% penalty fee of doing that. So you can, you know, claim them right away, but you only get 50%, or you can wait 10 weeks and get it 100% after. This is just a way of trying to keep some sustainability in the project. Basically, it's something that I've not seen in any of the other forks so far anyway. Move on to the staking. Like I say, there'll be an option just to stake your cyber just in a single stake pool. Now there'll be two options, which is pretty normal. One of them will be a no lockup period, so you know you can take it out whenever you want and sell it if you see there's something wrong in the project, or you know, you just need to sell for whatever reason. But usually your APR will be less than the other pool, which will be the lock. So on this one, the tokens will be locked for 10 weeks, and there's no way to get them out early. There's no way to get them out early by paying some sort of penalty. Once there's enough for 10 weeks, there's enough for 10 weeks. And yeah, so usually this one gives like a lot more APR because obviously there's a lot more risk involved in doing that. And yeah, so I think that's about it for the staking, stuff like that. Let's say it's still very early on, contracts aren't out yet, they will be coming soon. Something to look out for. Yeah, so it goes into talk a little bit about the collateral ratio and the minting and redeeming here. These are just all the ways that these projects kind of sustain themselves and are able to, you know, give out these crazy APRs without dying fast. And yeah, so at the moment, that's it really for in terms of the amount of information they've got at the moment. Still very, very early on, you know, audit's not done, contracts aren't out, website isn't ready, you know, they still haven't even done the private sale, so still very early on in this one. So I'll put all the links to the project in the description of this video as you head over there. Check the project out for yourself. You can try and find get yourself a whitelist spot, and then keep up to date with the project for, you know, any audits coming up and, you know, all the other stuff that's going to be happening before the pre-sale. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for today, guys. Thanks for listening. Until next time, bye.